Joining us here at Post 9 is IMAX CEO Richard Gelfond to weigh in. Do you worry that it would be the death of the movie business?
Oh, it's so early to answer that question, Sarah. I mean, I've been around long enough in this business to know that, not that I've been around for all of this, but they've said that for 100 years TV was going to be the end of the movie business. Streaming was going to be the end of the movie business. And you all and I lived through the pandemic, which was going to be the end of the movie business. I think people like going to movies, creators, movie makers. The movie business is part of our cultural life.
Yeah, but so it's not part of Netflix is a streamer.
I know, but there are a lot of content providers. Amazon is a content provider, and they're not the end of the movie business. Apple, we did F1 with Apple this year. That wasn't part of the end of the movie business. And we did, we're actually doing a deal with Netflix right now, which is we're making Narnia, which is going to go exclusively in IMAX for 2 weeks, then with a 4-week window, then it's going on Netflix. I think the world is evolving. By the way, David Ellison I've known for 2 decades. I've had dinner with him a dozen times. We're talking to Paramount now about a lot of movies. I think they've definitely, Skydance has already changed Paramount for the good. There's much more movies coming, much more quality. But I think this is going to be about dollars and cents. And
what about the antitrust, Rich? Because, I mean, you're a distributor. How do you view it? And you mentioned Ellison, and you're also close to Zaslav as well, we should mention, right? Fair to say?
I like him a lot.
You like him a lot. But how do you view it in terms of whether it could represent a competitive threat to what you do?
So you kind of got into this a little bit, David, and I think it depends how you define the market. I think, with all due respect to you, to me, it's to different people to define it differently. And as I said, I think either way it goes, we're going to be a winner in this. And
you being IMAX?
Me being IMAX. I don't own Warner stock, unfortunately, David, so not on that side. But in the last week, 9 of 11 analysts have raised their price targets on IMAX. And we have about 200 pieces of content a year on our global network, 1,800 theaters in 90 countries. And, this is interesting to me. But, look at all the changes that have happened in the industry. And since we distribute content, the thing I worry about the most is that the filmmakers have choice. And nobody's really focused on the filmmakers that much. But I think they're going to have their say in all of this. And then the other part of it is, and I got a call from Netflix after this was announced, and they reassured me about the theatrical window part.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
For how long?
Yeah.
Well, again, I'm not going to go into it, but I don't take all the hyperbole at face value. Everybody has their own interest in it. It's going to take a year, 18 months at the least, and there's going to be a lot of twists and turns.
There's going to be a lot of twists and turns. But, I mean, listen, IMAX, by the way, your stock's done great this year, Rich. Congrats on that. And, maybe you're a beneficiary of the big movies, the big events.
We set a record last week.
I know, but overall, this idea that somehow streaming hasn't impacted the movie business, I mean, come on, of course it has.
I didn't say it hasn't impacted.
Well, you sort of indicated it always goes on, but far fewer people go to movies now than they did 10 years ago, right?
In terms of numbers, yes, that's true. But fewer people do lots of things. Out-of-home entertainment has changed. Sports has become bigger. Concerts have become bigger. I think an IMAX is part of that trend. It's just way too early to say. I mean, if I ask you a question, is Netflix going to honor the window as they said they were going to do?
Right.
And are they going to put up theatrical marketing, which we know Paramount will do? And if you could answer those questions, then I can answer your question. But if you take what they say at face value, I don't think you could say it's the end.
But the rest of the industry is fighting this. We talked to the head of the Cinema Association, and they do not feel as sort of okay with this as you do.
So, Sarah, I talked to a lot of those people over the weekend, on Friday. A lot of people say a lot of things in the middle of one of these battles because it positions them and it positions the industry. But I think it's way too early. And the one thing I would say for sure is don't take everything you're hearing at face value. I could almost guarantee that.
Do you think Paramount, without Warner Brothers, is still in a decent position, or are they subscale?
I think they're in a terrific position. I mean, if you've seen the kinds of movies that we're discussing with them, I mean, sequels to some movies, original franchises, gaming-related things, and, you know, before, outside of this world, but in the real world, we're discussing the slate going forward, and it's really exciting. I think with it or without it, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
So who would you rather see win?
Oh, it depends on what it all looks like at the end of the day, Sarah. As I said, if you could answer 10 questions to me of how much money they're putting in, what the windows look like, this, that, but if either one of them wins, it's going to be good for IMAX, so I'm okay.
Yeah, stock's up almost 50%.
You're in the right part of the industry. That's what it comes down to, right?
It's been a good year.